ரெடியா சந்திரசேகர்? டைம் இருக்கு
சார், இன்னும் டைம் இருக்கு. பிஃபோர் தட்
டைம் இருக்கு. இல்ல to check the audio I am asking. That's all.
Is it clear, sir? Are you able to?
Yeah, clear. Audio is very clear. 33 participants போட்டுருக்கு பாருங்க.
Very good, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
மேரி ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணுங்க மறக்காம.
சார் பண்ண ஏற்பாடு பண்ணியாச்சு.
அது பண்ணிடுங்க, மறந்துடாதீங்க.
ஓகே.
Uh,
Okay. Good evening to all of you.
you're able to hear? Hello? Hello? Uh, Good afternoon to the 17 member colleges of Margadarshan, Harsh, and to all the students of this college. Okay, it's been a tremendous pleasure welcoming you all, the TPOs as well as the students of all these 17 colleges on behalf of the management and the training and placement division of Shastra. Now, I just wanted to make a couple of notifications before we go along with talk 2 of the session, which is on soft skills and placement readiness. Okay, the session would be handed over by one uh, Mr. V. Chandrasekhar, who is the second senior most member of the training and placement division of Shastra University, just behind Dean, who actually spoke to you on talk 1 yesterday. The two important notifications which I wanted to make is that as far as the students are concerned, since uh, the streaming is live, they will not be able to make any queries. And all the TPOs, since they have come through the Zoom appliance, they will be able to ask questions. So, in fact, after the technical glitch which we had yesterday, our dean has planned to have another question and answer session on Saturday. So I would request all the students, right there, set who can actually raise them during this. I hope I've made myself clear. I would now request Mr. V. Chandrasekhar to take over the day's proceedings. Thank you, sir.
So I am Chandrasekhar. I am a part of the Department of Training and Placement, and I have been with Shastra for the past 14 years. And it has been a tremendous journey for me in these 14 years, wherein I got into the placement arena 20 years back. With the start of the new millennium in the year 2020, I came into this arena of placement. So when I came to the arena of placement, there were some critical friends of mine who were just asking me what is all about placement, because people definitely have heard about the branches like mechanical engineering, civil engineering, history, physics, chemistry, English, so on and so forth. But people have never come across a department called placement. So in fact, they were even bullying me to a certain extent how it's going to be prosperous for me, as well as I also didn't have much of an idea about that. But in the last 15 years, each and every one of you would have definitely seen what sort of strides this aspect of placements has made. And it has come to such a state wherein each and every one of you, I mean, all the students who are hearing to this program, as well as the faculty members who are a part of this initiative, would definitely accept the fact that each and every student looks at the placement opportunities that the institution is able to throw to its prospective students, as well as the number of offers that an institute is able to make, besides the infrastructure of an institution. So each and every parent of yours, as well as you, would have definitely considered this fact of placement before appearing for this, before choosing a college. So, I mean, gone are those days when I graduated from a college, or for your parents who have graduated from a college, they all were just thinking to come out as a graduate only. But now the situation has totally changed. People do not expect you to just graduate. Graduate happens just like that by default, wherein each and every one of the public, as well as members of your family, your own friends, and even you, definitely aspire to leave the portals of the university as an offered student by a company. It doesn't depend on what CTC one gets offered, but it totally depends on whether the candidate is able to come out as an offered student or not is what matters most. And there are a lot of skills that has to be practiced before getting a dream job of yours, wherein my dean, Dr. Badrinath, was emphasizing about how to land in a dream job yesterday. He was emphasizing a lot about the hard skills and soft skills. Just I am taking some cue from that, wherein hard skills are those which you got trained from your school days, right from the kindergarten days, wherein you were educated until college level. For these hard skills to materialize, or for you to exhibit these hard skills during the interview process, you should definitely have soft skills. There are various forms of soft skills, and the two skills that I am going to just talk about today are, one is communication skills, as well as the next one is interpersonal skills. So just let me go to the first slide now. So what are the things that we are going to see in communication? There are four aspects that I'm going to touch upon. The first one is, what is communication? Second one is, what are the different modes of communication that is available to anyone? Third, what are the principles of effective communication? And last but not the least, the barriers to communication. So what is communication? It is nothing but the simple way of transferring information from one source to another, or from one person to another, and all of us communicate on a daily basis, right? We communicate at home, we communicate with our friends, I communicate with my fellow professors or fellow workers. So all of us tend to communicate, but those things are all very informal communications. But what are the principles and the ways that you should follow to make it a formal communication is what matters, okay? So there are different modes of communication. One is verbal, the next one is non-verbal, and written communication. So verbal is the thing what I am doing right now. I am communicating you, though it's being done virtually, I am communicating with you. It's a formal communication. And you people would also have come across a lot of non-verbal communications, which definitely tells about the body language one shows, or about any act which is shown by the just movement of the body. Since it's being an IPL season, one example that I would like to, I hope all of you would definitely be watching, the youngsters definitely would be watching the IPL which is going on. Though Chennai Super Kings is not doing that well now, probably they will definitely improve their performance. I mean, when you see batsmen like Kohli and De Villiers bat, I mean, if they want to run a very quick single, say, do not ask whether I can come for this run or shall we go for this run. After playing the shot, the nearest fielder or the very close in fielder, the one person looks at the other person, it's just a jerk of the body or the wink of the eyes, and immediately the run gets completed, though it's a very, very quick single. So in this case, people cannot be communicating with each other orally, and if they start communicating orally, it will definitely be fatal, wherein either one of them will get to a run out. And the third form of communication is written. So we will touch upon what is verbal communication now. Any telephonic conversation with a company executive or a face-to-face conversation, and nowadays into virtual meetings and during job interviews. So there should be a lot of instances wherein we do it daily in our university, wherein we communicate with people over the phone to run the placement activities. We communicate with the students to run the placement activities. And all these things form part of the verbal communication. So it has to be definitely very clear and concise. It cannot be very monotonous, wherein you speak lines after lines or write lines after lines, wherein it has to be very, very simple and concise. But at the same time, it should be able to make the other person understand. Very simple language has to be used. And that is one called verbal communication. Let me go to the next slide. Non-verbal communication, as I just insisted a few minutes back, body language, body gestures. Sometimes even when we handle class, probably after half an hour, if you just realize what is the body language of the student, sometimes it might be encouraging, wherein people would be definitely interested in listening to your lecture. And there are occasions wherein the students feel a little bit bored about the delivery type you have. And we can definitely understand from the body language itself whether the students are attentive, or then we can take some course of action to make the lecture more productive. And the third one is personal grooming. How you dress yourself for that occasion, how you comb your hair. Yesterday, my dean was insisting on point after seeing the hairstyles and of the people who were a part of the session yesterday. So nowadays, what people think is they fancy some actors or different hairstyles, and that would not be the apt one wherein people come for interview purposes and all these things. You should be definitely careful about the grooming you have. Grooming doesn't mean only the dress and the attire that you wear, it is also how well you are groomed facially, as well as right from till the head till the toe. Nowadays, written communication mostly happens through an email, is it not? So, how an email should be is a different subject all put together, because there are a lot of topic itself called email etiquettes, wherein if I start talking about that, I won't be doing justice to the topic that I have been given. But one very important thing as far as email is concerned, it has to be as short as possible. At the same time, it should be able to convey the message very clearly with simple language. Okay, that's the aim of email. I see. I mean, another very important thing, which normally the mistake that you students do is, myself and my colleagues, Prasanna, Sundar, my dean, we collect a lot of resumes from the students, because it's a time of placements in our university. A lot of interviews happen. Most of the interviews, all the interviews happen only through virtual mode. And every employer asks for the resumes of the students to be delivered to them. So being our university having a strength of around 2,000 to 2,500 for itself in the final year. So every time we will have to send around 500 resumes or 600 resumes to the employer. So what happens is we ask them for the resumes to be sent to us, and we find invariably that out of 100 resumes that we receive, at least 40 to 50 resumes would not have the subject line at all. Or it would not have any sort of salutation by saying, sir, dear sir, or respected sir, or sir, please find attached the resume. It would be just like that, attached and send it across without any proper subject line or proper identification of the student, which has which normally put us into a lots and lots of trouble. So these things can be easily avoided by writing a simple email with a proper subject line. Then comes a proposal. I mean, being students, all of you would, most of you would have sought for a bank loan or something like that. So wherein many people do not know how to write a loan application to a bank nowadays. I have seen students or very educated people coming in with a paper and a pen and giving people like us to write a letter to them. These are all very simple things, but it can be done only by practice at the right moment. A leave letter for that matter, if I write a leave letter to my dean. And the impact of that writing should be so good that on reading that itself, the manager should be able to think about giving a loan first, as well as my boss or your boss should be able to sanction a leave for you. And last but not the least, which each and every one of the students here would be interested in, is a resume. So you should have come to a stage wherein, particularly the 2021 batch students or the 2022 batch students, you must have come to a stage wherein all of you must have started to prepare a resume for yourself. So here, in this situation of pandemic, wherein we conduct the interviews virtually, the interviewer is not seeing either the placement coordinator like me. The interviewer neither sees the prospective candidate of our university who is somewhere in Chennai, who is somewhere in Nellore, who is somewhere in Toronto. He is not able to see any of us in person. So the impact that has to be created is through only that piece of paper that the student is able to send across in electronic form, and that is a resume. So again, building a resume itself is a different topic, wherein it was touched upon briefly yesterday. So the way in which you format your resume, the way in which you put the details in the resume should clearly make an impact on the person who goes through it. On reading that itself, many times people come to a conclusion, yeah, this candidate seems to be a very, very efficient, as well as a candidate who could be a very strong prospective employee of our company in the future. So once you are able to convince the interviewer through through the resume itself, you stand a chance of clearing the interview, and hence you have to definitely exhibit the proper written skills in the resume. Next slide. So the importance of communication. So having said that, communication all this time, what are the benefits a strong communicator can derive from? One, it inspires confidence in you. You must have seen, I mean, a group of friends itself, you must have discussed or you must have commented about your own friend saying that, hey, he is able to communicate well. அவன் எங்க போனாலும் வந்துட்டு he will able to be win the situation. எதா இருந்தாலும் சமாளிச்சு he'll be able to complete the job. And whether, I mean, communication is not only restricted to English. It can be in any language. It can be in any of your mother tongue. It can be in Tamil, whatever it is. But still, you should be able to put your thoughts very clearly to the person who is on the opposite side. And it inspires a lot of confidence in you. It makes you confident, as well as it builds a respect in the business and social life. So it doesn't mean that all of those who are attending this program or all our students are only going to be job seekers. It is not the case. Some of you can become entrepreneurs on your own, wherein you can make your own investment and start a business. Or some of you might be just willing to take your father's business or family business forward. So wherein you would be needing the art of communication if you want to flourish your business further, or if you want to make an impact in the public with your communication skills. Wherein in this modern world, there have been a lot of instances when people get it for get-together or parties and everything. What I mean by get-together and party is official parties and everything, wherein you would be meeting strangers. I mean, there have been instances wherein we have been a part of placement officers meet and everything, wherein any placement officer on the first occasion would be a stranger to us, and automatically because of the communication skills that the one is able to possess, we become instant friends. So in the social life also, communication skills helps you to make friends very quickly, as well as it cannot be only a momentary friendship, wherein by communicating with them on a regular basis, you are able to increase the bondage among yourself. The next point was insisted by me earlier itself. It helps you to make very good friends, and it also develops a distinct personality. Uh, you would be able to say, he is able to communicate well. If you want to hear to good communication or good language command, we can definitely hear to this speaker. Watch this YouTube channel wherein that speaker is able to speak very well and he is able to motivate people. He is a good motivational speaker. Read Shavkara's book wherein he would be able to really motivate you, and he's a person who talks a lot about communication and all these things. So it also helps you to have a distinct personality. And it also, a good communicator straight away is able to reveal the ability that he possesses to others. So again, I would like to go back and touch on the interview process that all of you are going to face. Once you are having a decent level of communication, the other person, the interviewer or the prospective employer, would be able to see the talent in you and probably make a 25% or 30% entry in his mind, saying that, probably a prospective employee, future or employee or my colleague is sitting in front of me. So that is the impact a good level of communication can help you in the future. How do you improve your communication? Having said all these things, how do you improve? It doesn't come overnight. Does any skill come overnight? No. It needs lots and lots of practice. I know many of you are Dhoni's fans. Dhoni is known to hit sixes very frequently, and he is a finisher also in many of the games which have been close games. But still, it hasn't, the skill of finishing the games in the last overs with few balls remaining hasn't come overnight. It has been years and years and years of practice. Tendulkar scoring 50,000 runs in international cricket hasn't happened overnight. How many matches he should have played, how many practice sessions he should have played, how many times the diet he should have been. So all these things only makes a man perfect. So likewise, you can also improve your communication by practicing it daily. I'm not saying that you should practice for 24 hours a day. It cannot be a 7-day a week or something like that. It is not possible for any event for that matter. But you should be able to just concentrate for at least 15-20 minutes per day if you want to be a decent level of communicator. Write small articles. So for instance, all of you love to go on a small tour. All of you love to go on a mini vacation and all these things. So after finishing the small tour or a vacation, you can just jot out the points, what happened, when you started, where you reached, how the day was, who are doing what was your contribution to that trip, and all these things in a small story like it's like a storytelling. Or there is even an exercise in soft skills called spin-a-yarn. So it is you, without talking, you yourself put it in the form of words and make a small article out of that. Now with the technology around you, you can write blogs on any of the favorite subjects that you are passionate about. If you are passionate about music, with the demise of S.P. Balasubramanian very recently, many of you would be his fans, wherein you can write some blogs about him, you can write some sort of events about his early days and all these things in the language of English, and you yourself see how you are able to write it. Ask your friends to read that blog, ask for their opinion, ask for their feedback. You can give the link of the blog to your teachers also, ask them to grow that. It need not be a general topic. It can be a technical matter also, wherein you consult your faculty member and say that I have written something about technology. Could you please go through that? So these things make you a better communicator, both orally as well as in the written form. Sir, my dean was emphasizing the point wherein he was saying that they used to read 4 or 5 newspapers daily. And what I would insist is, it is not reading wherein you read it within your mind or murmur within your mouth or something like that. It has to be. I mean, that's how I practice. I don't say that I'm a very, very good communicator or I'm one of the best and all. But whatever little I'm able to speak, that I learned in my young days by reading newspapers very loudly. There have been lots and lots of instances wherein I was not able to get a word pronounced properly. I mean, there have been quite a lot of instances. But there were people around to support me. My father was, though he was not that much educated, only SLC in those days, the quality of education and the vocabulary those people had was really to be appreciated. So such people were around me. They guided me a little bit better. But it was always the interest that you show to be a proper communicator. So reading newspaper is one of the most important things. I know pretty well a newspaper carries around 16 to 24 pages, and it is not possible to read all the 24 pages. But you can choose an area. Sports, you can see. Politics, if you're interested in art, you can go to the editorial and read. All these things make you a better communicator, both orally. When you read newspapers, what happens is you are able to come across new words. Very new words come across. So then you will be able to use those new words when you write some message or when you speak. The first time you come across a new word, what I would suggest or what I do normally is, with this technology around you, in those days when we were studying, I used to refer a dictionary. But nowadays, what immediately when I come across a new word, I go to the Google and type it and learn the meaning. And immediately on the very first occasion, when it is possible to use that word, I use that word to form a sentence so that it doesn't go out of my mind at all, that word. Again, go back to the basics, what you learned in your 5th standard or 6th standard, wherein your English is used to tell you make meaningful sentences of the words given in brackets. This is one of the small exercises that comes to my mind. So once you start using that word, it will never go out of your mind at all. So that's one of the most important things that you'll have to follow. Use technology. Google is always there. And again, participating in class presentations. So if you touch your conscience, I know once I started about this point, many of you would be just thinking about what you were doing. There should have been a lot of instances wherein your professor or the faculty would have definitely invited you for a presentation in the class in the form of a seminar. It can be a technical matter or whatever it is. And suppose if a faculty has given you an assignment to do a seminar probably in 2 days' time, the first thing that you will definitely do is to find a reason to bunk or to absent from the class the next day or probably the day after. So it is not that you have cheated the faculty or something like that or escaped from that exercise. It's a very clear indication that you have lost an opportunity that was thrown in front of you. For instance, I mean, suppose if you have used that opportunity wherein it is only a less number of audience in a class, maybe 40 or 50, and most of them are your friends. Some of them might be your close friends there, where they would be around you to motivate you. The faculty member would also be around you to motivate you to perform better next time, wherein he could even give you more tips on how the performance could have been better. What are the good things that you did during the presentation, all these things. But you have missed the opportunity. And again, what happens is, by attending the class when others present, it helps you to see how other people are better than you, or how better you are than others who have presented earlier. So it gives you a chance for yourself to compare you with your peers, wherein if there is any improvement that has to be done, you can definitely do that. Of course, there is always room for any improvement in all the events that you are a part of or all the efforts that you put. But when you are in a group only, you will be able to understand who is better than you and who is a little bit lesser than you. And the comparative study definitely will help you to be a better person. And as far as our university is concerned, volunteering to be the head or member of college events. There have been a lot of events that happens in our university. Of course, we, our faculties, ourselves are a little bit upset because last year's Kurukshastra didn't happen, which is a cultural fest. Daksh, which is again a text fest, didn't happen at our university because of pandemic. So there have been a lot of events like RPDM, Colosseum, which is a sporting event, Kurukshetra, which is a cultural fest, Tux, which is a tech fest, and all these things. Not all the 13,500 students of the university are a part of all these events, but there are a good chunk of students, say 1,500 or 500 or 700 people, who are a part of various committees, like the marketing committee, like the advertising committee, like the public relations committee, the purchase committee, and all these things. What happens is, our students get a good exposure. They go on their own. They prepare their own advertisement. They prepare their own letter. Some people come to faculty like us and ask for some sort of guidance how a letter to be drafted. We also take that opportunity to guide them properly. So they go and meet outsiders for a sponsorship or for some sort of funds and all, for a sponsorship in the form of cool drinks for an event, all those things. And sometimes they end up successful in negotiation. Sometimes they are not able to exactly get what they want. So some sponsors say immediately, though it's not possible to sponsor this time. So all these things happen to be a learning. And while coming back itself, they think about, I mean, could I have approached in a different way wherein I could have convinced the prospective sponsor so that we could have got the money or some material for the event. So being the head, but normally what happens is, we ourselves tend to criticize the other person. In the program, we never, I mean, there are students, there would be always be critics who are around you to say, I mean, don't participate in such events, we'll go home or we can go for a movie and all. But there are students who overcome all these sort of barriers, and those are the ones who are able to excel very well. Even in our placement process every year, we do have 100 placement coordinators to help us in the placement process. And those are the people who are able to come in touch with the other company executives also during the placement process. And they develop the art of communication, the art of negotiation, all these things from the executives. And at a very young age itself, they are able to meet the executives from different companies, because we get around 100 to 160 companies every year. So these volunteers who get placed very early have the chance to meet around 100 company executives. That could number to around 400 or 500 also. That's a good exposure that these students get. So now let me go to the principles of effective communication. Don't forget the acronym LAW. Here, to make it simple, we have put it this way. Law, L stands for looks, A stands for the actions, and W stands for the words. So to be a good communicator, you should follow this principle of law, wherein the looks have to be decent. So whenever I talk about looks or when we talk about personality, normally people have the notion that they compare themselves with a cine actor or a model or something like that. Or some people have got a discrimination that he looks fair, he looks wheatish, she looks wheatish, or I look a little bit dark, I look black, and all these things. Color has no role to play in your personality, absolutely. Okay, please understand the fact. Nelson Mandela was a black. Barack Obama was a black. All these people have ruled the world. Okay, Barack Obama was the president of United States. Nelson Mandela was a world winner, respected personality the world over. Okay, so don't discriminate yourself by color. But what we mean here by looks, it is not just expression, but also the way one dresses, how he comes for the occasion, in what way he has groomed himself for the occasion. And as the good old Tamil proverb says, "Aal paadi, aadai paadi" is one thing that comes to my mind, wherein you will have to give equal importance to your dress as well as you personally. Actions are by exhibiting good body language, a confident body language. One of the things, first and foremost, things that you should definitely develop before attending any campus interviews is how upright that you are able to get into the interview room. And if the occasion demands, or if you are given a chance, a very firm handshake that you are able to have with the interviewer. And words, the choice of words should be very, very simple, as well as it is being understandable to the target audience. Then, according to anthropologists, all of you must have seen chimpanzees, right? You should have been definitely to a zoo. If not to a zoo, definitely people know what a chimpanzee is. You should have seen the Discovery Channel and all those things. And the difference between the humans, we humans, and the chimpanzee in terms of DNA is just 2%. I read it in a very recent article. I was really astonished. And with this 2% of difference between a chimpanzee and a human being, lots and lots of cultural changes have been conceived. There is a lot of change in the civilization that we have come from the Stone Age to this era. And all these things have been possible because of communication. Okay, in one language or the other, communication has definitely played a role. And the role of communication in the civilized society, as well as the technological universe, can never be undermined. What are the goals of communication? So, to give and get information, that's the first and foremost goal, wherein you are able to give something and get back something. You are able to ask a question for which you are able to get an answer. You are making a request for which you get some permission, whether it is permitted or not, to ensure understanding between both people. So we normally do it on day-to-day basis, wherein you request a company for a campus interview and automatically there is a reply from them saying that, yeah, we would like to visit your university, or sometimes people say that probably you'll have to wait for some time. So you get the response. There the communication ends. And to persuade, we have sent invitations to around 200 to 300 recruiters, inviting them to visit our university for a campus hiring process. And that is persuade them, telling them about the salient features of the university, telling them the quality of our students, telling about the infrastructure that we possess, telling them about the time in where our institute was, how long it has been into existence, all these things. And at the end of that, we persuade them to visit our campus for recruitment. And it also helps to change your behavior. And how do you improve that? Make communication a priority. Don't put it as the last priority in your life. If you want to be a very successful person, you will have to definitely develop the art of communication. And first one, which I'm talking about, impromptu. Impromptu is an exercise that we give to our students in classes. Okay, we do have soft skill classes for our students. Now it is not possible because of the pandemic, but still we are going with classes through SWAYAM soft skill classes, and students are attending. So impromptu is an exercise wherein we tell the student to speak about any topic. Okay, we give it instantly to the student, and student will have to just start speaking on the topic in probably 2 or 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. Very simple topics. It can be very simple topics like, say, speak about a mother. Is there anyone on earth who cannot speak about a mother? Speak about love. Speak about flower. Speak about greenery. All these things. Then, whenever opportunity is there, take classes, which I had emphasized a little bit earlier, like taking seminars and everything. Read a lot of books. Reading books has become absolutely not at all done by many of the students, because it has been always the Facebook or the WhatsApp messages that you come across. Reading helps a lot to improve your vocabulary as well as the confidence level, as well as it helps you to do in the written communication also. Newspapers, here to good communicators. One very important channel that I would recommend you people is to watch the TEDx videos that is available. There are a lot of videos in TEDx, and those things would be really inspiring. If you just watch those things, it will definitely would urge you to become a better communicator. You love them. And simplify and stay and use straightforward language whenever you communicate. Engage with listeners by asking questions. Invite opinions from them also. It cannot be one-way communication always. body language studies so that 65% of all the communication is non-verbal. Only 35% of the communication happens orally or written. Maintaining proper eye contact in a crowd of or one-on-one increases your credibility and your concern for the listeners also. Respect your audience. It is not only you. You'll have to definitely respect the audience who are caring to yourself. And actually, we wanted to respect you by having a question and answer session also after this program. But this sort of technology didn't allow us to do that. Hence, we are coming with some other option wherein we would like to get questions from you and answer those also. And giving importance to what the others have to say is very important. Barriers to communication, first and foremost, is the fear of failure. So, though we do have a lot of students in our university from various places, we do have good number of students from Andhra, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Delhi, Bombay, Chennai. Though we do have, and people have studied in very elite schools like the Padma Seshadri, DAV Chennai. People have been from Trichy SRV, PHL school, what's that one? Kendriya Vidyalaya PHL, all those things. And but still, they also come with from a very good family background also. But when they are asked to come to the stage and talk about themselves, introduce themselves, on the very first occasion, people, I mean, at least 70 to 80% of the students feel very shy and are very reluctant to come to the stage, or in sometimes avoid that exercise also by not coming to the class on the particular day. And this is because of the fear of failure. Okay? So that can be overcome again by having self-confidence as well as having proper practice. And friends should come here and help the others. Okay, it's very simple. Go and try. The mental barriers, you think that I cannot do that. I am not competent enough to deliver. I cannot address people in a public forum, are all the mental barriers that one creates for themselves. So develop the confidence. It is not easy the very first time. The greatest speakers have all been failures in their first delivery, or probably on the first occasion wherein they have addressed, they have all been failure only. So the greatest speakers themselves. So then think about you students. The problems of language and articulation. Probably I am from Kerala. I'm going to be with the people who are from Tamil background. So I would not be, the mother tongue influence would be there. So I would not be able to deliver. So these are the hindrances that you create for yourself. The physical barriers wherein I look very stout. I look very lean. I have a dark skin. All these things are physical barriers that you create for yourself. And the personal barriers like would I be able to deliver, and the cultural barriers like I'm going to address a set of Americans, or I'm going to address a set of Chinese people. They are from a different culture. Would I be able to follow that slang or something like that? Speak in the slang that you know, and automatically you will be able to speak in any slang when you visit those countries. So the second part is interpersonal skills. I mean, all through we had talked about communication skills, and communication and interpersonal skills go hand in hand. If you are not having a good communication skills, it is not that much possible to develop a good interpersonal skills. So what is interpersonal skills is one thing that we are going to see now. Why interpersonal skills is needed? Because all of you are going to go for a job or going to enter the business environment. So interpersonal skills is very much needed. Even for us, when we work on a daily basis, I should have a good interpersonal skills to move with my peers, my colleagues. Types of interpersonal skills, and last but not the least, the advantages of having a very good interpersonal skills. Life skills, we say, and life skills is always called as people skills too. And it helps us to communicate and interact with people. So the first and foremost is developing good people skills, which enhances your interpersonal skills. Being able to work in teams. I mean, there is a session probably tomorrow on team skills and leadership skills. by my colleague again. So it helps you a great deal. Interpersonal skills helps you to be good in teams as well as groups, and ability to get along with others while performing a job. I mean, particularly in the software industry, or for that matter, any industry today, a project will be assigned to at least 15 to 20 members, and you will be doing one portion of the job or the project. So remaining 19 or 14 people will be carrying out different forms of that project. Here, all should be in unison, all should be in cohesion for the project to come out very well. Wherein, unless or otherwise, you are able to have a good relationship and good interpersonal skills with all the remaining 19 in the team, you would not be able to perform the task that is given to you very well. So here interpersonal skills plays a huge role. Ability to give and receive feedback, wherein after a task is over, so ask for feedback from others, as well as you can also give your feedback to others on how did they perform or how did they perform the job. Characteristics like manners, attitude, courtesy, habits, behavior, and appearance, communicate and maintain relationship with others. All these things to prosper you, all these things are a part of interpersonal skills. And particularly in a work environment, strong interpersonal skills is an asset. Helps you to make friends very quickly. It helps you to be identified by the people, so your managers, your immediate boss. Yeah, he is able to gel with people very quickly. He is able to make friends with people very quickly. He has formed a team, or he can be a future leader for our organization or something like that. And people who have worked in developing strong interpersonal skills are become very professional and very successful in their personal lives also. Why is interpersonal skills needed? It definitely improves you to be a better leader. Whenever we talk about leadership in this modern era, we cannot forget about the role Mahendra Singh Dhoni has played. He has been a leader. Okay, wherein one instance wherein I would like to tell about Dhoni, wherein since many of you be his fans, is that whenever there is a defeat, he'll come first. When the team wins, he will be the last person to come and collect the trophy. He will definitely lead the people who have performed to go front and hog the limelight. And it also good interpersonal skills helps to increase the productivity. When you are able to be friendly with your team members, automatically no one is going to complain about you first, and also people are able to give their contribution, which increase the productivity of an industry. Work environment is always fabulous. People are able to share their, I mean, it's a good working environment wherein there is no grumbling happening. People are not trying to stab you at your back. And the success of others is getting celebrated by everyone. And you are also liked by others. The power of expressing yourself and being accountable. And it also helps in managing yourself, the self-management skills. Using even in a very stressful situation, if you do possess good interpersonal skills, you can definitely win from that situation, though the situation might be really stressful. And it also improves your emotional quotient. So types of interpersonal skills, again, I'll have to go and touch back because I told a little time back that both go hand in hand. Verbal communication, non-verbal communication, good listening. It is not enough that you are able to communicate well orally, but you should be a listener also. How we interpret both the verbal and non-verbal messages sent by others. Negotiation is one of the skills that each and every one of you should develop, because you are going to negotiate with others for any sort of project or for your own job, for a salary and all those things. Problem solving, working with others to identify, define and solve problems. A team which is given a problem, if you do have interpersonal skills, others would also contribute a lot to solve that problem. Decision making, and last but not the least, being an assertive person. communicating our values, ideas, beliefs, opinions without fear is one of the most important skills that one should develop. That is assertiveness. And the advantages of good interpersonal skills, probably the last slide, I suppose. Good interpersonal skills create significant advantages when communicating and building relationships too. Good rapport with the peers, good rapport with the team members, good rapport with the other students as well. Work more effectively as a part of the team. Whenever there is victory, we celebrate it as a team, and whenever there is defeat or some sort of setbacks, we accept it as a team, and we do not try to play the blame game. Get our points across effectively. Possible to exchange first-hand information with your fellow workers, and also helps you get the feedback from others also. Communicate directly with the individual, and modification communication is possible based on the feedback. So good interpersonal people with good interpersonal skills, what happens is the manager or your own peer is able to just give you a feedback about your performance. And with this, probably I think that's the last slide. I take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who have been patient listeners, as well as I thank my dean, Dr. Badrinath, for giving me this opportunity, as well as my colleagues, Professor Sundar, Professor Prasanna, Martin, Murugapan, and all my team members who would really help me in this presentation. Thank you one and all. If there is any sort of Q&A in this session, as it was told by Mr. Professor Sundar earlier, you can send your questions through your training and placement officers in the mode that would be told to them. And my dean, Dr. Badrinath, will be taking the question and answers coming Saturday. Thank you very much, and all the best to all of you. Thank you.
In audio, okay. Yeah. So I just thought of adding, well done, excellent. Thanks for a wonderful presentation, very informative. From the placement perspective also, you have covered various aspects. How important is this communication skill? Like our resume writing, will show the efficiency of the candidate in terms of written communication skill. The non-verbal and oral communication is being tested in the group discussion and interview rounds. And also from our resume and during our interaction during the interview process, they come to know about our interpersonal skills also. The purpose of improving those skills from the standpoint of placements, you have fairly covered, and students people who are listening should understand these skills employees are very keen about these skills. How good you are in your communication, it is being checked during the group discussion and interview rounds. Your written communication is being checked in the resume writing. All those things, even sometimes the interviewers are conducting an essay, they ask you to write essay also, through which they want to check your English communication skills.
Email writing.
And through your co-curricular, extracurricular activities, they come to know about how good you are in interacting with people, cultural, sports involvement, all those things. So these are the things which employers are very keen, recruiters. Since we are now discussing from the placement readiness point of view, that is why we kept all these topics from the placement perspective. General communication skill, interpersonal skills, everybody knows important. But from the placement perspective, this is very, very essential. Employers, recruiters, trying to understand the personality candidates in terms of these two skills. So we should listen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sir? Agree with that.
So we can close it.
Thank you, Prabhu.